I've 23 female, attempted to go no contact with my family. It's not working. Hi there. I won't get into the details too deeply, but my father, 59, is an alcoholic and my mother, 59, is a narcissist. They've been divorced since I was 4, and growing up with them constantly fighting through me was rough. My sister, 32, seems to have picked up both of their bad traits. I moved out as soon as I could when I turned 18. I've been on and off talking to them, but had a few months-long stints of NC. I had a pretty rough breakup when I was 21, and my family, except Mom, she lives out of state, however she did call after this event, decided to have an intervention for me. They showed up to my house, unannounced, and began telling me how much they love and care for me and that I can't just seclude myself from them because of a breakup. This just isn't the case. Yes, the breakup was difficult, however I secluded myself from the family long before this event in my life happened. They never ask, why don't you talk to us? It's always, just because you're sad doesn't mean you give up on family. Maybe it's my fault for never setting boundaries. Lol, we'll get there in a minute. For never outright telling them I don't want to speak to them. Last year I moved 3 hours away and didn't tell them. They found out by checking in at my old job, where they were informed I moved out of state. My mom threatens me with calling the police to do a wellness check on me if I do not respond to her. Several other instances of emotional abuse on her side, trying to manipulate me into reaching out to her. I messed up by letting my mom stay at my house once a few months back. She knows my address and has obviously shared it with my father, who, yeah, no, she's hated my whole life. Thanksgiving, my father was in the town I live in. He's calling me non-stop, showed up at my house when I was at work and my roommate had to cover for me. He continues calling and I finally text him, hey, I don't want to hang out or talk to you right now, but I hope you have a good time. My dad responded to my text and it honestly seemed like he understood my boundaries. He did not. He showed up to my house the very next morning before I left to work saying he just had to see me. I literally was empty. I had no thoughts, no words, nothing. Again he goes on, whatever you're going through you don't have to cut out family, we're here for you. Again my whole family thinks some outside source is causing me this grief, but it's them. I don't really say anything but, okay yeah, to him and he leaves. I changed my phone number so they can no longer contact me. Last night I received an Amazon package. It's either from my stepmom, 55-ish, married my dad 10 years ago, or my birth mom. I can't tell who it's from because it's just an Amazon package. If it's from my stepmom I almost feel guilty for the response I had to the package, because again I felt empty and didn't know how to process this. My stepmom never did anything wrong to me. I have no ill feelings towards her, but obviously whoever sent me this package knows I changed my number and the only way to reach out to me now is through the mail. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I don't want to associate with these people. Maybe it's my fault for not saying, hey you guys fucked me up mentally, stay out of my life so I can heal, but I almost feel at this point the message should be clear. I do not want to talk to them. They are crossing so many boundaries now. I'm so lost on what to do. I'm not confrontational, because I never was allowed to be. Lol, no one scares me in this world more than my mother and father, and that's why I haven't set the firm boundary, but with the little boundary I did tell my father he crossed it anyway and forced a visit I told him I did not want. I'm going to be moving soon so they will no longer have my address. I just don't know if I'm doing something wrong by not telling them why I'm going no contact. I just feel like it should be obvious at this point. I don't want to talk to them and they keep pressuring me. What should I do? Too long did not read. Trying to go full NC from parents after only doing a few stints of NC prior. I have not explicitly said the reasons I haven't been responding to them, but I honestly feel as though it would do more harm than good. They don't respect my boundaries anyway, showing up at my house unannounced multiple times to force a conversation. I recently changed my number to avoid their calls and now I am getting gifts in the mail from them. What the hell do I do? Your no contact is breaking because of your own actions. You don't owe them any reason. They won't hear it or admit to problems. I can't tell you how to be you, but I can tell you what worked for me. Move out of state. Like 1,000 miles away. Don't have any social media accounts. OP also says they're not confrontational and they're afraid of their parents more than anything else. They realize what they have to do but they're afraid to do it. That's common when trapped in a narcissistic relationship, whether it's a romantic or familial one. Trust me op, I know how hard it can be to take that step, but you just got to do it, otherwise they'll just keep moving the goalposts on the level of bullshit they're allowed to do to you. Everything you let them get away with will become the new normal for them. It won't get better, it'll only get worse. You're going to maybe want some counseling to help see your way through this. You tell them the truth. You do not spare their feelings. Thing is, I don't believe you can do that and waltz away into the future carefree. But you need to be honest at some point. The only way they'll leave you alone is for you to stop responding to them. Eventually they'll stop altogether. My mom threatens me with calling the police to do a wellness check on me if I do not respond to her. Let her. While the office is at your house, you can tell them she just doesn't understand, no, and is abusing police resources to manipulate you. They'll talk to her next. Boundaries first. Then see how they treat you. Stop answering them. Don't answer the door to them. Don't let them into your house. If you really don't want connection with them, shut them out completely. It doesn't matter if it seems impolite or whatever, these people aren't going to listen to you or your reasoning. I think the only way you will achieve what you want is to just come clean. Be civil, but be truthful about everything and why you need your space. Also, let them know that if they love you and respect you like they claim, they will give you time to heal after all they have done to you. Hey op. I, F22, am in the exact same position with my family and sister. If you ever need to talk, feel free to DM me. You're not really going no contact, though, are you? You keep leaving the door open a crack. And when you don't verbalize what your boundaries are, and that they've trampled on them repeatedly, how are they supposed to know that's the issue? The obvious solution would be to tell them straight up and without any ambiguity that you don't want to have any contact with them anymore, and if they try, you'll file a restraining order and have them arrested. I didn't read a single thing in your narrative that wasn't allowed by you. Are you sure you actually want to go no contact? Because you're not actually doing that. You've seen some of the comments of what you actually need to do if you want to go completely no contact. You can follow those if this is what you want. But if there's doubt in your mind, are there boundaries you can set and hold firm to while not going completely no contact? You need to start reinforcing your boundaries. No one else is going to respect your boundaries, if you don't seem to either. If your family contacts you, do not respond. If they send mail, simply write "return to sender" on it, and put it back in the mail. If they call you, let their calls go to voicemail, and then delete the messages. Block their texts. Set up some filters on your email, to ensure their messages go directly to trash. If they show up at your home, refuse to answer the door, and call the police if they don't leave after 10 minutes. Do not make yourself available to them for any reason. You don't owe your family any explanation of your actions or reasons for going NC, especially if you think interacting with them would be traumatic. Simply cut off contact, and move on. Why do they know your address and phone number if you want to be NC with them? When they drop by unannounced again, tell them they're trespassing. Maybe some blue lights will make your message clear. When you go no contact, that means you go no contact. You block their numbers and don't answer the door for them. If they show up at your house, you call the police. Yeah, they aren't getting that you want to go NC because you haven't said that. Plus anytime they reach out to you, you respond. NC means NC, regardless of what they text, how many times they call, what they send in the mail. You ignore it, don't answer, mark return to sender, etc. They aren't going to get that they're the problem and not that you're just being sad unless you tell them straight up and then enforce your boundaries. Also, a wellness check sounds scarier than it is. Just answer the door and tell the police you're fine. You just don't want contact with your family. If you aren't in active danger to yourself or others, there is nothing they can do. I wonder why you think it should be clear that you want to have no contact since you never told them. You need to say this to them clearly. Hi all, I am taking a break from everyone to work on myself. Please do not show up here again. It harms rather than helps, and one thing I am working on is establishing boundaries with others. I am serious about this, so showing up after I have asked you not to or calling because I don't feel like chatting with you will just drive me further away. Take care of yourselves and be well. I will contact you if and when I'm ready. Name here. Do maybe next time you move you don't give them the address or number. But leave them with an email. And then just fifth slowly out of their lives. Not answering or starting a conversation. You don't owe them anything. Just make you happy. To be clear, you don't owe them the why. But you should state via text, email, letter, that you are NC. Op. You've gone low contact. No contact is when you are literally not in contact in any way, shape, or form. That is what you need. They will continue to push you and you have to shut it all down immediately and strongly, not just when things go too far. What that looks like is you don't talk to them, you don't respond to them, you don't engage in anything to do with them to the point where they don't exist in your life. This will not end unless you're the one to make it end. God, your relationship with your parents sounds like my relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Any little bit of communication that you give then, no matter how minor, is going to feed the problem. Simply tell them that they cannot come and that if they do, you will call the police. Then, if they come, call the police. Odds are they won't come again. If they want to call a wellness check on you, fine. Explain the situation to the office. You are an adult and are not under any legal obligation to communicate with your parents. It sounds like these are the sort of people who you just have to absolutely stonewall. It will be hard at the beginning, but it's the only way to get rid of them if you want to. Also, I'm sorry you're going through this sad phase. Whatever you're going through, you don't have to cut out family. We're here for you. Again, my whole family thinks some outside source is causing me this grief. I can't believe you can't figure this out. Of course they'll keep trying to reach out if this is why they think you're running away. Be a grown-up and tell them why, then they might stop. Maybe write an email or letter explaining what your intentions are and how you feel about them. This can be cathartic. Saying no can really help you to gain back some of yourself. When I started saying no to my family, they were very confused. Lol. Because I finally told them what I was willing or unwilling to do for them. Hang in there. Be brave. Seems that you wish to be left alone concerning toxic parents. If that be the feeling, then why are you even acknowledging they even exist? You are feeding the group you don't wish to be associated with. Ghost them in your move, change your phone number. If they persist in an action to make contact with you, file a restraining order against them. It appears that these people are hard to shoo away, so you must be harder in your effort to have what you want. What should I do? Maybe next time around you actually go no contact rather than this wishy-washy nonsense. Don't give out your address or phone number. Don't open the door. If a wellness check is sent, just accept that and tell whoever is sent that you are fine. FYI, you getting a new phone number means nothing if you are going to reply to unknown numbers. Seriously, don't answer any unknown numbers. As soon as you get one, you should be blocking it. You can do this on an iPhone or Android phone, no excuses. Repeat after me. I will not answer unknown numbers. You haven't literally told them to stop contacting you, to stop being in your life, that they are your problems. Until you do that, you're never going to get the results you want, and that's the cold hard facts. You have not communicated to them clearly, and that's step one of your problems. Parents are like that. Write a big letter and send it to them how you feel. If they try to cross their boundaries again, you are going to get law involved and get no trans passing order. Tell them you are very happy when they are not around and they scares you with the constant calls and text and showing up to your door without invitation as if you are a criminal. Just ignoring and running away doesn't help, unless you tell them how you feel. Be an adult and tell them cause by giving them mixed signals. You're being emotionally abusive, manipulative yourself. Two wrongs do make a right. Unfriend them, block their numbers, block them on everything and go about your life. I've been no contact for 10 plus years, pretty much since your age, and now I'm 34. The only thing that has gotten through in the years is a sibling tried to reach out to me through a friend by messaging him on FB. I apologized to the friend for being bothered and kept on with my life. Maybe start by actually enforcing your boundaries. Just a thought. Move, change jobs, do not tell anyone your address. If they try to say they will call the police, let them. Tell the police you want nothing to do with these people and instruct them that they are not allowed to pass on any information to them. None. Then thank the police for their concern, but to kindly ignore any further welfare checks. For being no contact, you have to want it and you have to actually do it. Don't open the door. Don't react to them sending you mail, change your number, move, what have you. As of now, it didn't work because you didn't put enough effort into it. You broke no contact, so they know that you don't mean it. It only works when you really, really mean it and act accordingly. I'm so lost on what to do. I'm not confrontational. Get confrontational. As someone who has gone NC with a narcissistic parent, you aren't being clear. The waters are muddy, so to speak. If you want to truly go NC, you must cut all ties. You must never respond to attempts to contact you, gossip you hear, social media, etc. You have to walk away completely. Your previous job should never have given him any info. Move again. Change your number again. Block everyone associated with him on social media. If they find you, show up, whatever, call the police, send him a cease and desist letter from an attorney, get a restraining order. If you can, do whatever it takes to full walk away and never look back. I know it is hard and tiring, but if this is what you truly want, you must cut off all communication completely. Forever. Good luck, Op. You can't say NC isn't working if you're not committing to it. Have you tried posting at r, raised by narcissists? Sorry, but you'll have to be firmer. I'm cutting off contact with you, not because I'm sad or in crisis, but because I don't like you. If you attempt to contact me again, I will take out a restraining order. Do this by mail so they can't argue back. The thing is, if you move, they can still find you, public records being what they are. Changing your name would help, I suppose. But you have to be absolutely clear about going NC or they will wiggle in. So let them do a wellness check. When the cops come, tell them you are fine but don't wish to contact them. Send them one message that you do not wish to be in contact with them and you will no longer be responding, and then block them and follow through. Like the lack of follow through is what's getting you here. I think you are making the mistake that you have to respond to their attempts at communication. This is understandable, it's from years of conditioning from abuse. Unfortunately, going NC is one of those things that often gets worse before it gets better. Especially with narcissists who will rage when things don't go their way. You're going to need to be more forceful. Make it clear you want nothing to do with them and you will involve the police if they continue. Their actions are just part of their living their toxic lives, which you are still very much a part of. Warning though, if you do finally get through to them, you do not want them in your life. They may continue anyway, but turn very hostile about it. Which is why you get ready to pull in other resources, police, restraining orders, etc. If you are responding to them in any way, you're not being NC. Not giving them your address anymore would go a long way, I think. You might want to go visit r, just normal, it's also for parents etc. That crowd have been through it all and are great at giving advice on these kind of things. You're not going no contact, you're hiding. You need to tell them I will not speak to you anymore and mean it. Block their numbers. If they show up, call the cops and file a restraining order. If you don't tell them, they won't stop. You need to stop treating them like family, friends or strangers. Tell them your boundary of no more contact via text or email so there is record, and then treat them like stalkers. If they show up constantly, call the cops for harassment. Change your number, don't give it out. You need to move again. Keep your circle small and private. You aren't communicating clearly or setting clear boundaries. You need to be direct and specific. You are not communicating clearly. They think you're pushing them away because of your own problems. You respond by pushing them away more. They sound like very overbearing people, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Whatever they did to you, the fact is they don't understand they're the problem. Why are you expecting them to magically figure it out, especially when one of them is a narcissist? That's not fair to any of you, no matter what they did. Change your address, change your number, get a restraining order if you want. But if you don't tell them they're the problem, they'll forever believe they're not, and I can't honestly blame them.